How much do you think Kyle weighs?
Oh, I hate these questions.
No, but you're not gonna offend him because he needs
You're
to
gonna
be.
guess like this, so
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
I'm compare you against my father. It's like 120.
No, you're like almost 30 kilograms off.
Really?
Yes, I weigh 90. Just kidding.
Kyle, thanks for your time. This is super cool. I'm a huge fan. I think like even before you made the Olympics and then went on to the final, I was a fan. That sounds so stalkery, jeepers. Not meant that way, but I just sort of saw something. I can't remember exactly where I saw you throw for the first time, or is it put? What is the correct? Is it
I
throw or
think you
put?
throw it,
You
they
throw
call it
it.
shot put.
You don't
You
put
throw
a
the
put.
ball, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just sounds weird. But I just thought like, who's that dude? Like, geez, dude. Like, I just liked your attitude. I just like because you always never seem to be happy with yourself when you're competing. I know that's something that will change, but it's always like you feel you can throw it further. Is that right?
Yeah, but that's normal, I think, for athletes. You can't be satisfied with your performances ever. So I feel that's pretty normal. And especially when you're young, you still want to be better. I think when I'm world champion one day at a senior level or start competing to become a world champion, then I'll start smiling after performances.
Okay.
But at the moment, I'm still quite away from that. So I'll have to be unhappy for a while.
But you have been a world champion before. You've been a junior world champion. That must feel good. That's like some credibility. That's like on the CV, there's world champion. You know what I mean? But it's 2018, right?
Yeah, that was 2018. I think my first year in university. So that was a World Junior Championships with a lighter weight as well. So it's hard comparing that to a senior shot
Sure.
put. And the transition takes a couple of years. I didn't think that was young and ignorant at the
Yeah.
time. But it takes maybe 5 or 6 years to get to become a senior shot putter and just build your strength to where you're strong enough to throw that 7.2 ball.
Break it down for me because there's the 5 kgs and you've got a 27.3 here. That was 2016. And then there's a 6 kg in 2018. That was in Finland, the 22.07. And then you go up to the 21.21, which is the different weights.
Yes, that's a senior weight.
So when you start shot put as a lighty, are you in at 5 kgs or
No,
lighter
I
than
think-
that?
So I started when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do sprints, but they chased me away there. So
They got
threw
it
me into
wrong,
the
man.
shot put, yeah. I mean, I feel like I could have given a Connie a go, but so they sent me to the shot put, and then I just started when I was 9. So I think it's a 2-kilogram ball. And believe it or not, I only won my first national title at the age of 17. So when I was in grade 11. That's when I won my first national title. So all these young guys always coming through, throwing well when they're young. People always think automatically you become a good senior shot putter, and I feel like that's completely opposite. You want to develop later in your career and later in life because the ball gets heavier
Yeah.
each year. So with the 2K, I wasn't great. I always went to the South African Championships, but I never placed or anything. So my first time placing was under 15, which is grade 9. I think I threw low 17s, which if you look by today's standards, all the kids are throwing that. I mean, I wouldn't even have placed. And then I just progressed each day. I feel like my body got a bit bigger, so I got it more into like becoming a man.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was in matric, I started throwing with a 6. You go through the 5, and that's where I broke the SA schools record. I think that was a 20:43, and at the end of the year in Paul, I threw a 20:78. And then when
Did you
get to
know
the-
at that point that this is the sport for you? I'm sorry
Well,
to interrupt you
no,
there,
no,
but
no.
I'm just saying because there's clearly been an evolution. You know, as your body's matured, you've got stronger. You've gone up the weight division in a way with the shot put. Did you know there, maybe I can do this?
Well, at the end of grade 10, obviously you play. I was in Monash, which is a big sporting school, and you do rugby and shot put, and you
Bit
do
pillar.
both of them. Yeah, but I never got the opportunity to play. And then end of grade 10, me and Pierre had a chat, and we sat down, and I decided to pursue athletics full time. So that's when I gave rugby a skip. And I mean, I was a decent rugby player. I played
Well,
under
the
16
coaches
Lions.
must have been upset with what.
Yeah,
with
that
Pierre.
happens. I mean, me and Pierre had a pretty clear plan. We wanted to win the World Junior Championships, and when I was 16, we decided that. So that's why I decided to pursue athletics full time. And then the year afterwards was the first year that I won South African Championships. So it was probably worth it looking back.
Yeah.
And then after that, I have no regrets. I mean, one of the big reasons that I like shot put and athletics in general is because there's a I don't know what's the English word for it, but there's a measurement. You can measure everything. So you can measure distances, you can measure times. Whereas rugby or any team sport, it's very objective. So me and you can both choose a Springbok rugby team, and there'll be 2 different teams.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I like athletics and sports that you do alone, because there's a measurement to it.
Okay, and the progression. You know,
Of course,
as you
can
progress,
measure how
right?
you progress. So last year I could see I didn't throw a personal best, but this year you're working towards something new, and you can see where you go wrong.
Yeah.
So you can definitely you can pick up on stuff.
When you played rugby, did you enjoy? Did you have fun playing rugby? Because Monash it's a rugby school, but you've had some amazing athletes that have also come out of there. I mean, you're one of them, but that rugby must have been fun though.
No, it was very fun, and I mean I'm still friends with all of the rugby players. So my best friends in life are still playing rugby professionally. One of them went to Japan now. The other one lives in Europe. He plays there. Plays in Scotland, plays in Italy. So some of my best friends in the world are still rugby players. And I mean, just because I stopped the sport doesn't mean I'm not friends with them anymore. But I do miss it. I miss the team aspect or something like that. But I mean, athletics, you have sort of the same thing. It's just when you get onto the field, you're alone. But going on tours, you meet a lot of people, and the people, you become like a small family when you're on tour, which is quite nice.
I've got to ask you, obviously Sia Khaleesi's had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting to see if it's touch and go. Some people are saying 5.5 months. Some are saying 6 to 9 months. Some are saying doesn't matter, even if he's undercooked, he'll still be on the plane. It's looking at a rugby context. Sia's been amazing, like the way, not just as a player, what he's done off the park, but as a rugby fan, we all want to see Sia go to the World Cup, right? And we want to see him lift the trophy again.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely put money on the box to be in the final again, and I'd love to see Sia there. But I feel like if we're not lucky enough to have him there, because he has been playing some really good rugby these last couple of months, even this last year, I'd love to see him there. But I feel like we have good replacements. We have lots of depth in South Africa, which is nice, especially on the flanks and loose forward side of it. But I think we can put money on a South Africa and Australian final. I'm
going to just be a pain because Tyler's in
sorry.
my ear and she's shouting at me all swear words and
Tyler.
profanities. Easy, Tyler, easy. There's Kyle's sorted now. Do you think we're going to have a threat from Ireland and France? Because Ireland are playing amazing rugby. My good friend and the executive producer on the show, Ray, is like convinced that France are going to mess it up because of the pressure. I would personally love to see France go far. Obviously not win it, but go far. Who's your money on? What are you thinking here? Because Ireland, if Johnny Sexton rocks it at 10 and with their pack, they're always going to be a threat.
Johnny Sexton's old enough to be my dad. Yes. He's not a threat. I mean, I feel like these guys are peaking too early in the season.
Fair enough.
From a rugby standpoint, we will only start peaking when we play it's not the Tri Nations anymore.
Yeah, it's like a championship.
Yeah, the rugby championship. Yeah. So I feel that's when we'll start peaking, and these guys have been playing rugby the whole year. Their bodies are going to be gone.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should do it again. It's the Southern Hemisphere just always has something on these Northern Hemisphere teams. So I think we should be fine.
Do you think that we're going into this World Cup like underdogs in a way, despite being title holders? And I think it possibly quite suits Jacques and Rassie, and it seems to be the narrative that's being pushed through these players that if you talk to Ebenezebeth and Bonambi and Lukanya, all of these guys just flying under the radar. And for once, I think a team like New Zealand don't quite like that. They don't like flying under the radar. They like to be the team to beat and favourites. But clearly they're not.
Yeah, I feel like that's not a bad thing for us. I mean, we're low in the world rankings. What are we now? We're number 5.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
We're low in the world rankings, which I think is quite cool. Great for the betting odds. I don't know if your guys want to bet, but
it's not a bad bet.
Yeah, that's a great bet. So
but you don't bet big on the box to make final, do you? What, $100?
No,
$500.
$1,000.
Okay.
I'll do 1,000, and then I'll do 1,000 on Australia to make the final, hopefully, and then we have an Australia box final.
You can't write them out.
They have an easy way. They're on the other side. So we I think we're playing New Zealand or France in the quarters, and then New Zealand or France in the semis, or Ireland. So that's a tough road to the finals. Where Australia have an easy out there. So I feel like they're a safe bet to
I see you've done your homework here. Eh?
Me and my friends talk about this every prize. Yes. So this is
so around the
night,
it's like, okay, let's have a World Cup strategy here.
No, we talk about this because we all want to bet, and we talk about the URC. We're making plans there. That's what we do. We've been doing all that.
What do you and your mates think of the URC? Like, because I imagine and you've got mates who have played for Lions and whoever else, flying to New Zealand, Australia, doing Super Rugby, and then all that jet lag and nonsense that happens there. These guys fly business class, so it's not like they're not sleeping on the planes. But if you're flying to London or Dublin or wherever it may be, surely that's much easier for the body.
I mean, when I fly to Europe, you just fly straight up
Yeah.
and then you rest for 1 or 2 days and you compete. So I feel like flying straight up is much easier. When we played in the Super 14, you go 2 weeks before the time, you have a tour, you stay there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like that's hard on the body, but going up is not that bad. I mean, you fly business class, you sleep on the plane, you get there, you do a shakeout, and then you play a game of rugby. I think that's not that bad. I think
Not
it's better
too
for
bad.
South African rugby. And then my opinion on this is the New Zealand teams, the Australian teams get used to playing easier rugby. They don't get used to the physicality of South Africa.
Yeah.
And then when they meet us again in a test match, that should be a bit of a shock again.
So Rugby Championship, I think, is it All Blacks? Who's our first game? I can't remember now.
I'm also not 100% sure.
I've got the internet here. This is a professional show.
Yeah.
I should know what I'm talking about here. By the way, if you don't know who Pierre Blignaut is, firstly, where have you been? And secondly, he's a shot putter. He made the finals of the Olympic Games in Tokyo, junior world champion and future Olympic champion. Okay. I think Australia's our first one, 8th of July, 5 o'clock. Then we're away to New Zealand, and then Argentina. Wait, no, man. Is that right? Oh, that's 1 of 3. No, that's right. So we play New Zealand away, Australia here. I think it's at Loftus, actually.
Yeah, that should be
And
nice.
then Argentina. That's 8th of July. So that physicality will be interesting to see, because there's no doubt we're one of the most, if not the most, physical teams in the world.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to make rugby softer again. I watch these games and you get yellow cards for anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like 10 years ago, you play like Buckies or someone, you really enforced the game and it made you scared to go into the ruck and to try and steal a ball. Now you can't do anything anymore.
No, that's true.
I feel like that's a disadvantage to us, and that's what the European teams are trying to do. They're trying to make, I think there's a rule, you can't tackle above the hips now somewhere in Europe.
Something
They're
like
trying
that,
to
yeah.
enforce like stupid rules.
Well, it is, yeah. I
I don't know
can't
if you
say-
ever
I
played
mean,
rugby or 8, but if I must say, just all won the thing. Yeah.
Close line, there we go.
Whatever you want to do.
You mentioned going to Europe. I know you leave in a few weeks' time to go and base yourself in Italy. I'm not going to give that away because I think that's your guys' secret. You know, you Akani, Wade, you know, that's your thing. And I'm not going to give away the town where you guys go, but you said it's your 3rd time that you're going now. Give us an idea of what's it like there, because firstly, I think location, logistics-wise, it makes sense with all the Diamond League and the European season. But give us an idea without giving too much away what it's like there, man.
I don't think it's a secret, but I'll try and explain it to you guys. So we stay in this beautiful small hotel. Piata agents obviously known them for lots of years through Oscar, and he got to know them. So they're very friendly to us and they're very accommodating. So we pay a fixed amount, and then they give us our 3 meals a day, and then they give us bikes to go to the track and back so we can go train whenever we want. We have full access to the gym, and it's just this beautiful small hotel next to the mountains. So I think it's the start of the Alps.
Oh.
That's what you call them.
Yeah, that's right.
And then on the top of the mountains it's snowing, so it melts and it comes down into the river. So these rivers are this blue, and they're ice cold. So after a nice hard training session, you could.
Are you in?
Yeah, you bike to the rivers.
Okay.
It's probably like 6-7 degrees. Maybe go buy a watermelon because it's hot. It's like summer's here,
Yeah,
35, 34
Jeez, that's
degrees.
awesome.
Just go sit in the river, have a watermelon.
So that's your ice bath, eh?
That's your ice bath. That's a nice
Oh,
natural
man,
ice bath.
Sounds amazing.
It's about 2 hours drive from the Venice.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a drive towards the airports, but I mean, when you stay there for a week, you don't even feel the 2 hours drive. I mean, Ower and Tambo from our house is an hour, so it's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. And then everything from the airport's 2-hour flight at most, which is nice when you stay in Europe. It's easy to compete anywhere.
That sounds amazing. Like, it doesn't
that's-
sound like you're there to work, but you are there to
No,
graft.
it's the boringest experience of your life. I'm not going to lie to you. So my normal day is you wake up at 9.
Yeah.
It sounds late, you wake up at 9.
But you have to sleep as an athlete.
You sleep. I
Firstly,
sleep a
you're
lot.
consuming. You're consuming calories and you're burning calories because you're throwing a weight around.
It's a bowling ball.
It's
It's the exact same
absolutely.
as a bowling ball.
But people also don't realize how much graft. They're like, oh, that guy just rocks up, puts the thing there with a little bit of chalk or whatever it is and hoys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's not that. You've summed it up perfectly. And I love the way you describe shot puts about the ballerina reference.
Yeah,
Maybe you can just share that with us, please.
No, I think I heard it somewhere. It's not my personal quote, but I heard it somewhere and I like to use it. So you have to be as strong as a strong man, but you have to be as agile as a ballerina. So that moving through the circle, you have to be fast, you have to be light on your feet, but you still have to be strong. You have to be able to bench 200 plus, squat close to 300 kilos or over that if possible. have a big deadlift, big snatch, big clean. So all of that's very important, but you still have to be light on your feet, explosive, fast. So that people are always very surprised when I tell them how much sprints we do, how much jumps we do, hurdles, stuff like that. People can't believe it. They just think you just get strong and you throw the ball.
I've seen firsthand you jumping both feet over hurdles at the worst school. Jeez, that's an amazing. My word. What a fantastic.
School, for high school. And they're coming up at the moment. They're putting so much into their sports.
Unbelievable.
And that's what we coach there. Look, I don't know if you can go on my Instagram on that thing, but I probably posted the coolest photo I've ever posted this past weekend in Botswana.
Where can people follow you on Instagram?
Just at Pierre Blignaut. It's easy. Kyle.
I'm going to ask you, people say that you spell your name with an A.
Yeah, my parents did that, but I don't do it like that.
Okay, so
otherwise I'm Kylie.
I was about to say, like,
I think I have too much of a beard to be Kylie. So, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Because I was like, no, I've seen it spelled, but then anyway, I digress. All right, Instagram. Let's have a look here.
So that's
Blignaut Kyle at Blignaut, shot put 2021 Olympic finalist. How's that still when you hear that? Oh, Tyler, you see. Don't worry about mine. Here we go.
So I think it's this one where I'm jumping.
Awesome.
That's probably the coolest photo I've posted. Just jumping off the ground.
Screen
Roger took that one, so it's very nice.
That's cool.
Don't have to log in, but I mean that's the coolest photo. So you have to be able to jump really high and be fast on your feet. So
that is amazing. I mean, you've even you're jumping up the stands. You know, like on stands, like
like
there's metal, and I mean, it's explosive stuff. I've got to ask breakfast. Like, that looks omelets. What's going on there? Little OJ.
That's some pancakes, but that was after the African Championships last year.
Okay.
Me and my training partner, Kian, he was a junior, so he's still 18 years in matric last year, was supposed to be. In matric last year. And then we just competed the day before that, and then we went out for a fishing trip the next day. But that was just a small breakfast. We had some omelets, some stuff, and then that's a video, so it goes to the fishing and what we caught and whatever. So but that's a small breakfast. That's like a first breakfast.
So what is a first breakfast?
A first breakfast.
So what does breakfast look like for you, Kyle?
Well, I try to not get too heavy.
Yeah.
So I do between 6 and 8 eggs.
You're looking great, by the way. I mean, for a guy who weighs 90, you're looking good.
Almost double 90, but yeah, it's not that bad. Between 6 and 8 eggs for breakfast, and I'll just scramble them and eat them like that.
So protein is obviously big.
Yeah, so that's not too much calories. I think 8 eggs is like 500, 600 calories.
Okay.
It's not that much. I have that for breakfast, and then I'll go to training at around 10, and then 12 I'll come back, and if I'm not lazy, I'll make myself like 2 potatoes and some 3 chicken breasts or whatever.
Okay.
And I'll have that for lunch, and then dinner I just see what I want to make. Normally I like a pasta or something big, so I want to fill myself up, so I don't ever want to go snack later this evening. Yeah. But I mean, I try not to eat too much, but sometimes it's hard. Your body needs it.
Absolutely. What is a cheat meal for you?
No, every meal's a cheat meal when you throw a CS. You don't have to care about calories too much. I mean, I almost weigh 150, so I'm not going to eat broccoli.
No, but I mean, you're not eating crap, though. You know what I'm saying? What you're putting into your body at least is decent food, right? I mean, like I understand in the times when you're tired and there's temptation for takeaway, but it might be a Nando's, for example. Or, you know what I'm saying?
I like to get some Chinese. I feel like that's the healthiest option.
Yeah.
Some Nando's or some Chinese. So if you get like
that.
a chicken chow fang, I think they call it some chicken, rice, vegetables, and they fry it up. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So if I want to get takeaways, I do that normally for lunch. It's quite a big portion. That fills me up. But yes, I don't think the people will believe me. I used to say with friends now, but we moved out before I go to Europe, so I don't have to pay the rent for the 3.5, 4 months. I'll move back to Krugersdorp now. At the end of the year, but then every Sunday they'd also be on diets, going to the gym and whatever. We'd have cheat meals, and then I think the one Sunday we ordered 3 of us 8 pizzas. So we have like a dessert pizza, which is quite nice.
Okay.
We would order like a dessert pizza.
Is pizza your favorite though?
No. We just
I'm just asking. Yeah.
My favorite if I have to like go fast food wise is Burger King.
Okay.
You've had their chili cheese fries.
No, I haven't.
It'll change your life.
Okay.
Yes, it'll change your life. You'll gain 20 kilos.
I know. I'm like already trying to,
No, so if I have to have a cheat meal, I'll get 2 just standard Burger King meals, and chili cheese fries, and fill up on the Mountain Dew at the machine.
Hey, so that's the way to go.
That's what I like to do. Yeah. So that's what I have to do for a cheat meal.
Is the cold drink out of the machine cold? Because
at Burger King.
When was it? It was a few months back. I had a Burger King. It was just when I was finishing late at night and I was starving. They were the only place open. That's the excuse I use. And they gave me warm drinks, dude. And I'm like, where's the ice? That's why. Is the machine cold?
You can throw
Must I
your
go
own,
inside?
You can throw your own ice
Okay,
inside.
well, you're right.
And then normally I have like 5 cups inside. That's what we always go sit inside at a Burger King because you have free drinks. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So you have
Okay,
2 while you wait,
I need to
3
sort
while you
this
eat,
out.
and then 1 for the road.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
That's a combo you
I'll
use
take a
there.
leaf out of your book. I'm dying to know. You like a braai?
Yeah.
What does your braai look like? I mean, is it a boerewors? Are we steaks? What are you rib guy?
Depends on what time of the year.
Yeah, what do you-
we're braaiing. See us in season, so I'd say January to August when there's no liquids at the braai.
Yes.
And then we have a nice braai. I mean, we take for myself maybe a 600-700 gram steak.
Okay.
So we have a bunch of friends. All of us bring a steak, maybe a nice chop and some vors, and then the girls make some salad
Okay.
or maybe 2 braaibrooitjies. So that's the standard
I
salad.
love
but
braaibrooitjies.
at the end of the year, when there's no athletics going on, you only eat ice at the braai.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's
Okay, but so January, August is you.
No, that's when I put my head down and
absolutely.
I focus. I don't like to party too much.
Yeah.
But I like to take a couple of months a year just to live.
Sure.
I mean,
You have to.
yeah,
You
my
have
life
to.
is boring at the moment.
Yeah,
See, as
yeah.
I wake up, train, coach. I help Pierre, my coach a bit of kids at Noordjewel. So coach, train in the evenings,
Yeah.
go to bed. That's what I do 6 days a week. And on Sundays, I just do nothing.
Okay.
Watch
No,
a movie and
just
rest.
relax. Yeah.
So that's what I do for
Okay.
8-9 months a year, and then the other I'll take about a month and a half where I just don't care too much, and if I want to go out with
Yeah.
friends on a Wednesday night, I'll do it or whatever.
Okay.
And then those last maybe I don't know, it's 2.5 months left. Then I start training, but I'll still have a social life, and then from January to August I sort of cut off the social life part of it.
So your social life is just hanging out with friends, right? That's just your people, right? You don't. I mean, with all due respect, I don't see you in a club. Like squeaking techie, vibes. sort of
Oh,
thing.
no, I
Or
would
some-
never do that.
never.
No, never. You won't ever find me there. Never. But
Yeah.
I know we
no,
enjoy
You know what I'm saying?
a good braai with
Yeah.
friends. I mean, I love that. I love going out just to a bar, restaurant thing, having something to eat, having a few drinks. That's also nice. Or going fishing. I love going fishing or going camping
Where,
for a
where do
weekend.
you fish?
Anywhere. Me and my dad, we go to Rodekoppies outside Brits.
Okay,
We go to
yeah.
the Fall Dam. Anyway, we like to fish for carp. So
Okay,
we
yeah.
do freshwater, yeah.
What's your biggest carp you pulled out there?
14.2,
What?
yeah.
That's a beast.
I was matric when that happened, so it was big
Jeepers.
fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this year I think it was like a 9.
Okay.
A 9
and,
kilo
and
carp, yeah.
any sea fishing? Have you ever
I've-
done a bit of that?
3 times in my life, but we stay so far from the
Yeah,
ocean,
it's
so
also
it's
true,
hard
eh?
to get there. Last year when we had the African champs in Mauritius, the last day before we left, we went out, we only caught a couple of small
Okay.
fish, yeah, nothing big.
I'm getting to learn about Carl here. You mentioned Coach Pierre, and you guys have like you said, you were high school. Your relationship goes way back.
Sweethearts, yeah.
But you guys have a truly special relationship. Do you ever get to a point where he's pissing you off or you piss him off or something like that? Because I imagine there are times when you disagree or you don't get on 100%. Or
I have a lot of respect for
Yeah.
Pierre. We have the same surname, so people think we're related most of the time. But I mean, I have a lot of respect to him, so I always listen to what he has to say, and then I try not to disagree with him, but just talk to him about my perception of something and explain to him. And then most of the times he understands, because I mean, I'm not a child anymore. So when I was younger, we disagree, and he'll tell me what to do, and I'll end up listening.
Sure.
But now I can form my own opinion, so I'll tell him what I think, and especially we don't disagree on lots of stuff technically, because
Yeah.
I've been with him my whole life.
Yes.
So training and technically we agree on almost everything, because he's taught me everything I know.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else to to disagree about. But I mean, I can speak to him, and we have a really good relationship. So there's not much of disagreeing.
I see.
Yeah.
And is it just shot put, or can you? And I know you and your dad are also very close, you know, with your family. But is there sometimes you can go to him and say like, "This is bothering me. That's not shot put related," or is it strictly athletics?
Yeah, no, I can talk to him about anything. So this is a bit personal, but like finances, the first 3 years of athletics, there's not a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
It's not like rugby or other sport where the federation pays or not, a union pays for you and whatever. So
Sign
the
a nice
first
big contract. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first maybe 3 years after school, didn't make any money out of shot put. Competing and won a world junior championships, did all these things, but didn't make money. Not enough to do anything with.
Yes, yeah.
So then he helped me get a coaching job, which helped me just pay for the stuff that I need to
Absolutely,
pay.
yeah.
I could buy myself a car, which I paid off with the coaching money and physio and whatever, just to get a head start.
Yeah.
And so I can talk to him about anything, and he'll do whatever he can to help. So I mean, we're very close in that way as well.
It's amazing because that trust is on another level. Like
Yeah.
It has to be. Let's talk about Olympic Games Tokyo was not an easy place for your first Olympic Games because we were in the middle of COVID, even though it was sort of moving that way. You guys were getting tested daily.
Yeah, every
It
day.
was like, it must have been hectic. I mean, and at times you're going like, what the hell am I getting myself into? But it's Olympic Games.
See, yes, stuff like that doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
I think I have a very thick skin when it comes to in the moment. So
Sure.
at Olympic Games, the first time I watched the final was 2 weeks ago. Then I actually, because it came out on YouTube, and I watched the final. I thought, so I did some impressive stuff there.
Tyler,
But in
let's have a look there for Olympic. Is it on? So it's on
It's
YouTube.
on YouTube, yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
I think if you go to the third throw that I had,
Okay.
my first throw was at 20.29.
Yeah.
My second throw was a no throw and was 10th. So I had to get a big one out to get into the top 8. And then on that throw, I came through and I saw that. I thought, I don't remember it this way. And even the World Junior Championships, they put it out on YouTube end of last year. So
Okay.
I watched the full
Yeah.
competition for the first time. I thought, yes, that's impressive. And in the moment, you don't really think about these things. You just
Yeah.
think about doing your best and whatever. So at the Olympic Games, every day getting tested, the heat, being on the other side of the world didn't bother me bother me at all.
Yeah.
You just go through it and you have like a thick skin, and then afterwards when it's done, you like decompress and you see what happened, and then you start to take it in.
Because it was all about the 21s, wasn't it? In 21.
Yeah.
Even though it was Tokyo 2020, it was
Happened
in
in
2021,
21.
right? But making a final, that must have been something. But
So that's what we worked for the whole
Yeah.
season. I thought that 21 would be enough to get me into a final. So that's why I went to Europe and I tried to get as close to 21 the whole European season as possible. I knew going over like 21, 40, 50 would be tough
Yeah.
at my age. So that's why I thought 21 making a final.
why
would
do you
be
say
great.
that?
You need to mature, Sias. You
Okay.
can't. If you look at a prop forward, we spoke about rugby earlier. You can't play Springboks at 21.
Yeah.
You look at a prop forward at 27, 28. He starts maturing.
Yeah.
And he can play till he's in his early 30s and he
Okay.
plays well.
Yeah.
But a prop forward in 21 still plays varsity cup or he
Yes.
plays under 21 rugby. So that's the same with shot put. You need to get strong. And I've been taking these last 2 years and I've been building my strength. And then there's different challenges that comes with that. So
Okay.
I had a great technical model at 19, what I wanted to do with my turn, but I didn't gym at all. So when I won the World Junior Championships, I couldn't bench 100 kilos. So all I did was throw 2.5 hours a day, nothing else. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world's always, especially in shot put, they're very surprised when I tell them that. And now I can bench over 200 at the moment. I've really gotten stronger, so now I have to change my technical model a bit to
That's
get that
insane,
timing
by
back.
the way.
Yeah, so that's
I mean, that's
it's
only
something
like
interesting.
50 more than I do, but
Yeah.
I do 150.
That's only like 20 above my body weight, so it's not that impressive. But
No, but still, so I get what you're saying now. It's a case of, it's almost growing into your body and allowing your strength to grow with your body, if that makes
Yes.
any sense. Okay. Oh, I see. So that's why the 21, 40
The 21
plus
is good.
is, yeah.
I was the youngest guy ever in the top 8 at the Olympics
Yeah.
in shot put. So
That's what I say. It's an
that's a-
insane achievement.
yeah, you don't see a lot of young people go
Yeah.
in there and throw really far. Throw 21, and I mean a 21 flat. I think would have medaled at the 2004 Olympics. And shot put has just grown so much that it's really hard to medal there. So
Yeah.
if I want to medal next year, which I'm planning on doing.
Absolutely. Paris, here we come.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm putting all my bets on that to medal. I'm 100% sure I will. So next year,
Oh,
hopefully,
absolutely.
when I medal, you guys can play this back. But I'm planning on getting second or third. I think winning it will be a bit hard because Krause will still be there and he'll
Sure.
be doing deep 22s. But I can get a low 22 definitely next year.
Okay.
I feel like I'll end the season on a high 21 or 22. That's close to the South African record or maybe break it. And then next year, I think I should be 21.50s throughout the season, and then just that final push towards the Olympics to a 22 low to middle. And I feel like that should be enough to medal. So that's my plan.
Jeez, bud. Here we go. You said it on this show. In terms of that SA record, it's also the African record, if I'm not mistaken. It's been around since 2001, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Is it something that's in the back of your mind, like you want to sign off one day as owning that record? Because it's been around a long time, and obviously you're still a young man. But is that something that's, eating away at you a little bit? Because
I wouldn't say eating away, but I definitely want to break it, and I'm 100% sure I will see us
Yeah.
because I don't really focus on that, but I want to become a world champion. That's something I want to do before I die.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've put in my whole life into shot put. I've committed so much. So definitely before that, I want to be an Olympic champion and a world champion. And then compete well in Europe and have a good season and just put South African shot put on the map. So that's something I have to do within the next 10 years. And I feel like if I do what that I want to do there, then the African and South African record will just come and fall along.
In your opinion, and there's another podcast that my brother actually shared with me called the High Performance podcast, and they had various coaches, incredible athletes, dynamic athletes. So Sia Khaleesi was on there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they asked them, what is your definition of high performance? Because for a lot of people, it's about a mental toughness, it's about a consistency, and it's about the progression. Is that something you see as high performance? Because for you to be a world champion in the next 10 years, high performance is where you at, bud. You know what I mean?
I feel like you almost described it perfectly. The high performance for me is performing consistently at the highest level. So getting to the diamond leagues and getting to these world championships and African championships and getting on the podium consistently, being in the mix for medals consistently, and that's high performance for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
and I think that's exactly it. You have to be competing against the best on a regular basis.
Consistently.
Otherwise, you
can't
won't
just do
grow.
it once.
Yeah.
I saw this quote on TikTok today earlier. It said it's better to be consistently good than once off great. So I feel like that's a good quote to live by. Be consistently good, compete against these guys consistently. Don't win them once a year and then you come out in South Africa, go beat them consistently, and that's what I want to do eventually. Hopefully within the next 4 years I'll be there.
Well, I think you got Paris. There's world champs this year, right?
No, that's next year.
Oh, sorry.
No, there is in Budapest, August.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm planning everything towards that.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot.
I was like, because you know what? The swimming's weird. The swimming has like a world champs in Japan and this year, and then next year another world champs within 6 months. It's
They swim a
bizarre.
lot, yeah.
It's bizarre, but it's only because of COVID and things that will move. But how much? I mean, looking at Budapest now, because obviously you've had a little bit of a niggle with injury that you've sort of overcome, and then did you throw at Germiston? Or where was it? Potch.
Yeah, Potch. I did that
was
last
Potch.
week
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah, that's
and then
right.
I did Botswana last week
Yeah,
Saturday.
how was that?
It wasn't bad. So it was an interesting competition. Both of them had some troubles with the officials.
Yeah.
So in the one in Potch, the block broke.
I was about to say.
The block broke, and I was feeling good. So
Okay.
with the program I'm on now, I felt horrible the whole beginning of the year.
Sure.
But I started to feel like better, and maybe twice a week or 1 day a week, I feel good.
Okay.
So last week Wednesday I felt great, and I just decided to go compete. I wasn't planning to compete, and then I decided, let me make the drive through. It's an hour and a half, and I went to compete, and 5 minutes before we started, the block broke. So that's a 40-minute wait.
How does it break though?
I don't
Did
know.
someone drop shot put on it? Or?
I think what happened on the side, you bolted down.
Oh, okay.
And it probably broke in the pass, so someone welded it.
Oh.
And then when you reverse into the block, so you
I
swap your feet and that,
see.
someone
Okay.
hit it and it broke.
Jeez, that's frustrating.
Yeah, but it happens. I mean, I don't want to throw far now. So there's no point in that. In 2 months' time, it's close to the World Championships. Then performing makes a difference. So I've had to just adjust myself mentally to that.
So, sorry, man, I'm interrupting you. Then I apologize. That's fascinating for me. You said you've decided not to throw far. To throw too far.
No, I want to throw far.
No. But I'm trying to understand you. Like, is it an exertion thing, or are you there just to get the turn right and feel it more than anything?
And I'm
Because
conditioning
world
my
champs-
body
yeah,
to
yeah.
go to be able to throw for 3
Okay.
months. So the
I
guys that
see.
helped me with my program described it to me in an interesting way. Have you seen Braveheart, the movie?
Yeah.
So I'm in the trenches now. I'm preparing my body to get like nice and strong.
Okay.
And we just hold, and then in 2 months' time you say shoot, and then you let everything
Okay.
go. So
I like that.
I'm punishing my body in the gym. I'm getting
Okay.
a lot of work out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing a lot as well. So when I stop the gym and I just get to explosive stuff and the heavy weight stops, then all of that extra power goes into the shot.
Oh, okay, I
and
got
then
you.
that helps a bit. So that's what
So
we're planning
Potch
on doing.
and Botswana is more about competing, just
Just getting back
competition,
into things.
yeah, feeling it out.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
I mean, there was decent prize money in Botswana as well,
Sure.
so that's why I wanted to do it. So
Brilliant.
maybe next year I'll adjust it a bit so I can be in a bit better shape there.
Yeah.
But I mean, Botswana was a very nice meet, a strong field.
Yeah, gee, there were some rock stars that came down.
Yeah, so next year hopefully I can do a bit better there.
Okay.
But I feel like in 2 months' time, my distances will definitely be better. And then you don't remember these hard times where you
Yeah.
struggle and whatever. You just remember the good times. So
Sure.
that's what I'm working towards.
Okay, I got you. That was interesting for me. I'm like, trying to understand this high performance stuff, man. It's fascinating, and the mental aspect of it, because I know Commonwealth Games last year didn't go according to plan.
No, I
because
was
you were injured, but you still competed.
I wanted to try to throw because I knew you could medal with a low 20,
Okay.
middle 20. So I thought maybe I can just fix this niggle on the go and then maybe get a medal or do well there.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case. When I got there, it just got progressively worse and I couldn't really throw properly. I think I fouled a low 20, which got me 4th, but that doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
So
But was it an injury that potentially you were like, if I push this too far, this might set me back
it
further?
was a stress fracture in the lower back.
Yeah. So it's serious.
Yeah, so I had to do 12 weeks of rehab and at a biokineticus. So that took a while, but I feel like it was good for my body.
Yeah.
My weight dropped to like 138. So I was skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these biokinetic stuff and whatever. So I dropped a bit of weight and then I came back and I just started building a new base with the program and I started feeling my body again. So I'm looking after my body for the first time in a while. I started squatting with a belt. I just used to raw dog everything.
I was about to
yeah, like an animal. But now I squat with a belt. I
Okay.
stretch. I have like elastic bands that I stretch with and I warm up properly. So I try to take care of my body. When I injured my thigh this year, again, it was a cold day and I didn't warm up properly.
Okay.
So that's something I fixed. Every day I warm up for 20 minutes. I
Yeah,
sweat.
yeah.
It looks like I had a session before I started throwing. But I feel like that's what you need to do to your body, just to get it loose and just to prevent injuries.
Absolutely. I'm just circling back to sort of the mental aspect. That Braveheart analogy, that's very interesting for me, how they put it there. But when you take the shot put and you put it against your neck and you're ready to go, what's going through your mind there? Because are you is it crystal clear? Are you just focused on the job, or you're like, gee, there's a crowd and it's action, or are you excitable? Maybe just take us there.
I mean, like, it's a very nervous energy, sort of.
Yeah.
But I try to focus on specific things in my technique. So I try to get my left foot down, and then you can't focus too much because you've trained this 100 times.
Yeah.
So I try to get my left foot down normally and just hammer it. I
Yeah.
want to use another
No.
word than hammer, but just hammer it as hard as possible.
Yeah.
And just throw the thing as hard as you can.
Yeah,
then at
yeah.
the end, sometimes it goes a bit right, but I feel like when I get my technique, I should go straight down the middle and have some distance.
And obviously, muscle memory is a huge thing there.
Of course. That's why I like to train on surfaces that I'm comfortable with. So
Okay.
UJ, it's not far from here, is my favorite surface to train on. I have good memories there. So I like to throw there, and then even any circle you put me on, if it's a slow circle, whatever, that first 15, 20 throws,
Yeah.
you still remember. Your body almost feels like it's still throwing where it's
Okay.
comfortable. So I like to train where I'm comfortable for a couple of days before a big meet.
All right, so looking at the rest of 2023 now, we got World Champs coming up is obviously something that you targeting in terms of trying to test yourself. Objectives there is that finals, seeing where
Finals
you go.
again, and I want to do better than I did at the Olympics. So
Okay.
if I can get top 5 there, top 4, whatever, I feel like I'll go deep 21s there, maybe a 21.70, 80. And then that should get me a better distance, or a better placement than at the Olympics.
Yeah.
We'll see, the shot put feels pretty strong. So that's what I want to try and do, just get a better placement than at the Olympics, so I can just get that next step and go with a bit of momentum into the Olympic Games next year.
So it's crazy to think Olympics is next year. Eh?
It feels like this, and then it's there.
And also from a confidence point of view, I imagine that also plays a big part in your sport, like any sport. But when you are nailing those consistent distances, you're like, I
believe
can
you're
do
doing
this.
it,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah. I
No,
got that.
belief is a big part of it. That's why I like to throw far in training, and that's been an adjustment this year.
Yeah.
So I can't push my body too hard while I'm pushing it hard in the
Yeah.
gym. So I've been throwing these 19-meter low middle throws, and then just having, because I want to throw hard,
Yeah.
but your body just doesn't allow it. So I'm looking forward, I think in 3 weeks' time, this program is done,
Yeah.
and then my body can start throwing hard. So I can't wait for that. Yes, I want to
Put the
start
hammer
hammering
down,
the
man.
ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to do that badly.
And discus is done.
No, I'll maybe throw it once or twice in my life just
Okay.
for fun again.
Yeah, but
I'm
not-
like a local meet, a Grand Prix
Yeah,
or something,
yeah.
but I'm not good in discus.
Yeah.
I'll throw like a 52,
But still, it's,
which is not great.
Yeah.
But
I suppose in terms of the movement, there's similarities.
no, they're like brother and sister.
Yeah,
Discus
exactly.
is a sister. But
Shot put's the sexiest one. Eh?
yeah, no, I mean the sex appeal in shot put is unmatched. Yes.
That's the next level. When people ask you what you do for a living, and you say you do shot put professionally, I mean, obviously your friends know because you've been doing it your whole life.
Yeah.
But when people meet you for the first time, are they like,
what you
shot
do
put?
for
work? How is that? Is
Yeah.
it weird still? Or
No,
because you're a
I've just-
professional athlete now.
Yeah, and I just skipped that part. I don't tell people what I do anymore.
Really?
No, I don't like talking about it a
I'm
lot.
studying or I coach.
No,
or-
I coach. That's what I
Okay,
tell them.
okay.
Because then people want to ask a lot of questions.
Like
so-
me.
Yeah, no, you fine. But I mean, when you go out and someone asks you, you say, no, I'm an athlete for a living. They say, okay, what do you do? You say shot put, and they say, okay. And then they really don't know what to ask. So that's a weird line of
Oh, I
questioning to
see.
go down. So I just skip it normally, or I don't like to talk about it.
Okay.
And I don't like to tell people that I'm an Olympic athlete or whatever.
Sure.
So I just get to know me for me, and then
Listen, the cat's out the bag, so it's happening.
anyone that watches athletics probably knows. But I don't know about the rest of the people.
But I think athletics still, unfortunately, is a Cinderella sport in South Africa. Like,
What does that mean?
what that means is it means that it's like the pretty nice little sort of princess on the side. Your rugby's, cricket, and your soccers or football still take center stage.
Mm.
But when you do what Wade did in Rio, or you medal in the Olympic Games like Tatiana did, for example, suddenly you're not just a Cinderella sport, you're a rock star, and you're front and center. And that is going to happen in Paris. Are you ready for that?
No, I want it to happen. Obviously,
Your life will change. I mean, I'm just saying, I have no doubt you're going to do us proud in Paris. But are you ready for that, like mentally? Is that something you've maybe just allowed yourself to dream?
I don't know, Sias.
On Sundays when you're watching the movie and you're doing nothing,
know how scary
you
it
must be
is?
thinking about that.
You know how scary it is? I've heard people talk about this, and I almost felt it for myself the year after the Olympics. So I had this book in my closet. This is a long story now, but I'm going to take you through it. I had this book in my closet when I was grade 11 or 12. They told us to write down all your dreams and goals and what you want to do. I think it was for life orientation or some stupid subject. And in the back of the
stupid
book,
subject, eh?
yeah, I think it was a 5-year plan. So I was matric, and it was a 5-year plan to 23, and I wrote down everything I want to do. I want to win the World Junior Championships with a 22-meter plus throw. I want to go to the Olympic Games. I want to make a final. I put everything down in a book. And I found that book probably a year ago, and I was so surprised to see this. And then after the Olympic Games, doing what you wanted to do in your 5-year plan, and you've done it. Now just adjusting to what I want to do now. It's done. The Olympic Games is done now. You've been there. What's your next step in life?
You got the ink.
Yeah, it takes a while to like get used to it, and then just adjusting your goals again. So I feel like that's something I'm glad I did while I was young. So that was a tough year last year, just refocusing everything and just getting a plan in place to medal again, and to do not just look at 2024 but 2028 and winning that possibly. So it's interesting going through the Olympic Games and then afterwards having to readjust everything and readjust your life, because now you're Olympian and people love that and they talk to you about it, but that's not all you want to be. You want to be Olympic champion or something.
And one day when the Olympics and your career is done and you've achieved what you want to achieve, is there going to be a lot of fishing, or what's the long-term plan? Like,
So I'd like to start the business.
Okay.
End of the year, hopefully I'll go to Europe, make some money, and then come back, and then I have a few ideas. I'll try something like that. I just don't want to sit still.
Yeah.
But I'd like to start a business, try something. If it fails, it fails. I'll go on.
What's
try
your
something.
passion for? What business would you like to?
I have a few ideas. So,
No, I mean you don't have to give it all
No,
away.
no.
But I'm just saying, is it something? Is it something
No, it's someone that I know that has a business, and then this can be a part of their business.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go talk to about them. I'll write a business plan while up in Europe, so I can come to them with a solid plan,
Yeah.
and then and talk to them about it. But so that's what I want to do, and then I'd also like to, if I have something in place, I'd like to stay in coaching. Be part of athletics, teach young shot put the stuff that I had to learn the hard way. That you need an agent, that how to just to compete in Europe, what you need to be successful.
Yeah.
All of these stuff, because I've had to go through that sort of alone. I'm figuring it out step by step, and I'd like to talk to young guys and help them on their journey there. But I wouldn't coach too much people, maybe like 4 or 5 youngsters, take them through to the senior ranks, help them out while they're seniors, and then start with a new batch.
Okay.
So I'd love to do something like that to help the sport.
So give back to the
love to
sport
do
that's
that,
given
yeah.
you an opportunity to see the world,
And
compete
that's-
on the biggest stage. I've always sort of thought about it. Athletes don't, and I know that's changing, and I know your manager agent is very big on planning for life after sport. But like for a lot of guys, I suppose in athletics, there's not a lot of money in athletics unless you are competing in the diamond leagues, and
You
that's
have
the
to be
thing.
top 10 in the world
Absolutely.
consistently. Otherwise, there's almost no money. Yes. People are always very surprised when I tell them I made no money. The only money I made was out of coaching for the first 3 years after school. I didn't make 1 cent out of athletics. I think I won a Grand Prix, which was a bit of money in my first year, but nothing substantial.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. You have to be top 10 in the world to make some money, and then the Highschool helps a bit,
Yeah.
and then you get Adidas sponsorship which helps a bit. You can go to Europe, you can compete, make some money, so then you can start making some money. But to get there's not a lot of funding in place to help you carry you for those first 3-4 years, and I feel like that's where we can improve in South African athletics.
I know you're still young in your career, and I say that with all due respect because I know you've been doing shot put since you were 9. But what is your advice? I mean, if you went back to 2018, just before Junior World Championships, what would you tell yourself now that you've been to Olympics, you've been to a Commonwealth Games, Africa Champs?
I'd get on a structured program earlier.
Okay.
So after the World Junior Championships, I think it was August of 2018, I didn't do much in the gym till 2019, right to the I played a bit with the gym, so I went to the gym but twice a week. I didn't go a lot. And then at the beginning of 2020, before COVID, I got a trainer which wrote the program for me, and I started following that program. Obviously, COVID hit. And then afterwards, I was lucky enough to be able to gym at Highschool Noordjewel. So in the middle of that, I could still train and whatever. And then I really got stronger fast, and that helped me adjust to the senior shot. So if I could give myself advice, I'd go back to maybe 17 and then start with a structured lifting program just to get your body used to that.
Carl, thanks for coming in. I could talk to you forever, and maybe we will over a braai, or we'll do some fishing.
Yeah,
maybe we can do that.
Whatever you want.
But I've no doubt that you're going to do South Africa proud and Krugersdorp proud, so that it's not just Brad Binder who's the most famous person out of your town.
Krugersdorp is a great place, yes.
I love
Don't listen to
Krugersdorp.
the stories.
No, exactly. I can cruise around with you. I'll be fine. in
Yeah,
Krugersdorp.
no.
Carl, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck on your travels. Good luck at the World Champs, and keep doing amazing work, bud. As I
Thanks.
say, I'm a huge fan.
Thanks a lot, Sias.